Of course, I want to start the show by saying hi to everybody and making sure that everyone out there can hear me. I know there's a couple of people already online, so that's always great to see. I just want to give the opportunity to let me know if everything sounds good on your end by giving me a thumbs up. If everything sounds good, then we'll get the show started. I'm pretty excited today because we're gonna have a special guest on. I'm gonna bring him on in a couple of seconds here. I just want to say hello to everybody. Can you hear me okay? Just give me a little thumbs up, guys. I also put the questions of the day like I usually do at the top of the chat window. So if you have a moment, just answer those questions. The question of the day today is, have you spent more or less time playing guitar while in forced isolation? Has it forced you to become a better player or a worse player? Have you just felt too stressed to even have any inspiration to play? Just basically want to get the temperature of the crowd in terms of how they feel about playing during this weird time that we're all going through together here. So if you guys are regular members of the live events, then welcome back. If you're new, I want to say hi to you guys as well. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please take a moment to subscribe. You really help me out by doing that. If you want to support the channel, of course, there's some swag at the bottom that you can purchase and enjoy as well. And that really helps out also. So good morning, everybody. Without further ado, I want to bring in our special guest. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by my friend, Jonathan. And Jonathan's been patiently waiting behind the scenes here. Hi, Jonathan. We can see you, so give us a little wave. That's awesome. So Jonathan has been a YouTuber for a while. I've been enjoying his channel as well. And he always has some really great content, really great stuff that he shows us in terms of guitars and his playing skills and gear. And Jonathan, take a moment just to give us a little rundown on your show. Like, how long have you been doing it? Tell us a little bit about it. What got you started? Just introduce yourself to the group.
Hi. I have just started the channel like about two years ago, and yeah, it was tough going in the beginning because you have a couple of subscribers and I was about to give up because I had like a full-time job touring. I do concert tours. I'm a session musician, so I play for other artists as I go touring around the world. And then I'm also a music producer, so I produce albums locally, and I do sessions at home. So I have all these things going on, and the YouTube thing was just kind of like I'm just going to try out something, and there was something else. Something prompted me to start a YouTube channel. But in any case, I persevered because I remember someone told me, or I read it somewhere, and this guy was starting a YouTube channel, and he's actually very popular right now. I forgot the name. And he was like at a loss as to what to do because whether to continue or whether just to give up. And he asked a friend, and that friend is like one of the top YouTubers. And he just said, "Don't give up. Just keep on doing videos. Just keep on posting videos. Whether it's good or bad, don't care about it.
Doesn't
just
matter.
Do what you do best." And that's what I did.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm a big fan, and actually, I was blown away the other day. I didn't even know that you have such a great voice. Like when you were when you did your you did a show or a video just a couple of days ago, and I was watching it, and you're playing acoustic guitar and singing with it. And I'm like, wow, man, what an amazing voice! You're a great guitarist and a great singer. I gotta go and practice. I gotta go. I can't keep up with you guys. You're making me look bad.
No, Tony. I'm not being superficial right here because I saw your channel way back when I first started. I was like watching all the other YouTube channels just to have an idea what's going on. And I watched David Wallerman. I watched you. I watched a couple of guys. But you came across as being like, true. Like there's no glitz, no hype.
No Hollywood
Yeah, and
fluff.
I like that. I appreciate that. So yeah, thank you for what you have put into the YouTube community.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
thank you for keeping it up, because I think it encourages people, and I think like also that's what I like about your channel. I mean, you don't seem like you know, just doing stuff because you want to, you know, just fluff. You know, it's really because you love what you do. You're showing people what you love, and I
Mhm.
think it comes through. And honestly, I think as a general rule, I think a lot of YouTubers that are being honest and being like you know, show themselves as they really are
Mm.
the ones that people gravitate towards, because they make that human connection. I mean, there's a lot of Hollywood fluff as well out there for entertainment purposes, but that gets old really fast, I think. So, anyways,
Mm.
so I want to thank you again for joining me. So, you know, I've been inviting some people on my channel that I enjoy watching and that I think are really unique and have great channels. They might not be the superstars of YouTube, but I mean, that's not the point. The point is just to build friendships and communities and to discuss
Mm.
what we love to do. So, and hopefully the people watching here today are going to also enjoy what we have to say. So let's not, I'm not going to ignore them. I'm just going to say hi here. Just going to go down the list. And I know there's a couple of familiar faces here. So let me just take a moment to say hi here. So Tim is a regular here. He's doing well, it looks like. Alan in the UK is on board today. Gospel of Mark. And I asked the question at the top of the segment here, and I said, you know, has this forced lockdown encouraged you to play more or less? So for me, I feel like at first I didn't feel like playing because I was stressed. And then after a while, I'm like, I kind of embraced it. I said, look, I have extra time, so I might as well spend it productively. Apart from just making YouTube videos, I also spent more time putzing around with the gear and getting things to work properly. So
Mm.
the Gospel of Mark, who's also online here, says he spent far more time playing in isolation, but also rearranging, cataloging what I have, and selling things off, which is a great time to do that. Actually, I had the intention of doing something similar. I wanted to organize my. I have a big binder with all of my music, and I tend to accumulate a lot of stuff, and my binder gets thicker and thicker, and so I want to like slim it down, organize it, and then I have an Ampero, and I wanted to organize the patches so that when I'm playing with the Ampero in a live situation, everything is organized by set list. But it takes a lot more time than you think to do all of that stuff. So I figured
Yeah,
I'd be
sure.
able to do it during this period, but I still have managed not to do it. So I guess I'm focusing on the wrong things. How about you, Jonathan? Are you playing more, or are you playing less, or are you playing the same?
I actually play a whole lot more during this COVID period than I did before that, because the only time I get to play is when I'm rehearsing for a show or when I'm doing a session
Okay.
or when I'm doing videos in
Yeah.
between. I used to like do like 2 videos, you know, a week. During this COVID period, I'm doing more. In fact, I was like doing one every like one day every
Yeah.
day, or maybe one every 2 days. So I'm playing a lot more, which is good. And I'm
Sure.
teaching, so I'm teaching online. I get to play too, so
Yeah.
whole lot of play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're multi-talented with the teaching as well. I mean, that's great. So you're giving back what you know to the community and to your students, which is awesome.
You said it. You said it.
Yeah.
The whole reason about this YouTube channel was to give back to the society. As a professional musician for like, you know, about 3 decades, you know, I've been taking and taking and taking and taking, right?
Sure.
I've been through the best of times and through the worst of times. So it's about time that I give back to the young musicians, you know, guys
Sure.
who are like in a plateau, stuck in a plateau and don't know where to go. So I'm just there to like
I get it.
get them yanked up.
Yeah. I get it. Well, some of the viewers today are saying that they're playing the same amount. Also, Dan says he's playing the same since he's an essential employee, so he's been working. So Dan, we appreciate your help. Your you know, being noble and going to work in this crazy time. I mean, it's not an easy thing for some people to do. It's scary, actually. So thank you for being there for whatever it is that you do exactly. I'm not sure what you do for a living, but it's always good to see people that have the you know, the courage to do that and step up. Lydian Lover says, in the beginning it was great, but then I got repetitive injuries. Now I play less. Actually, worse, much worse. So that's another thing. Repetitive stress injury. I mean, as I don't play enough really to get repetitive stress, but I did at one point. I did have something with my thumb, but it actually wasn't caused by playing. It was actually caused by my phone, believe it or not, by swiping, which was crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, so I got this thing in my thumb and it really was painful, and it took a while for it to go away. Thankfully it was just my thumb, so it wasn't really affecting the other fingers. But have you ever had an injury like that?
Oh, I have it. I'm an avid gamer, in case you don't know.
Yeah?
I play Call of Duty, I play The Division, I play all sorts of games.
I used to be a big Call of Duty fan.
Yeah, and I used to like spend hours, in front of the screen just playing games like online.
Yeah.
And with the keyboard and then with the configuration that I have.
Yeah.
So you kind of like putting your hands into an awkward position.
Yeah.
And sometimes, the especially the left hand, it kind of gets stuck after a while, and age is catching up. So for a time, I was thinking, oh man, that's it. That's my playing days. My playing days are done, because I thought I have like acute arthritis. So it was really bad, I like, it looked deformed. My hand looked deformed.
Oh, boy.
In fact, a fellow guitarist who I toured with back in 2012, he took a look at my hand and says, "Oh my good Lord, what happened to your hand?"
Wow.
So I was thinking, but I played all right. It functioned. It just looked funny, right? It just looked weird. So the pain came, and then I started taking fish oil, omega-3 and all that, and it worked. It worked.
That's good.
So I'm back to normal right now.
Awesome.
So I'm careful not to spend too much time playing games.
Yeah, it's easy to forget, right? Like once you get into Call of Duty and stuff like that.
I
haven't played in a while, but I used to be really addicted to that game. Now I don't play anymore. My son plays now, so he's taking over. He's carrying the flag.
I was addicted to The Division because we had a clan, a group of guys in Singapore, right? So these guys are like ranging from 24 years old to 22 years old to all the way to the 40s, the late 40s. I was the oldest one.
Oh, okay.
So we were playing online almost every night, and that's what happened because the comradeship,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's all you need is even more fun to get even more deep into it.
And there are injuries every now and then when we go on tours, like that's why I don't like hard cases. I spoke about this in some of my videos that I never like hard cases. The fact that hard cases actually protect the guitar. But the actual fact is that hard cases actually cause a lot of injuries unknowingly. When you're pulling it out of the belt, right, and then the handle, and then if some luggage get caught up and you're in a rush, there goes your wrist.
That's true.
And a whole lot of stuff. So I opted for the SKB, like a semi-hard soft case
Padded,
where I can strap on.
Yeah.
But it's not really a kickback. It's actually quite well reinforced. Yeah,
no, that's true. Yeah, I try to slim down whatever I'm bringing with me when I jam. So like sometimes I'll bring a guitar. You have your pedals, like just the pedals get bigger and the amp gets heavier, and so I'm trying to slim down. That's why I ended up buying the Ampero. I figured I might be able to use that as an option, just to be able to get things like, instead of bringing an amp and a head and everything, just bring that and get that. Lighten up the load, so to speak, So there's a couple of questions already. I don't want to delay the questions too much, but Alan says he has a question for you. Oh, no, sorry, that was for Fat Philosopher. Fat Philosopher's a regular viewer of our channel, and Alan's asking him if he had any new guitars. I'm sure he probably did buy something new because he's always shopping for something. Francis says, hi, guys. Let's see here. So yeah, there's the answer. So he says that he just bought a Steinberger and a Dean V, and it arrived last week. So I'm sure he's a happy camper and pretty happy with his new gear. So how about you, Jonathan? Have you what's your newest addition to the family when it comes to guitars?
you know it, Tony. Like times are bad.
I know.
Yeah, and well, I haven't bought anything since last year. I think good. my latest one is this GNL or was this Floating Deluxe Blues Boy. that was my latest. And there are a couple of guitars that Harley Benton sent over, but those are good, and yeah, I'm just happy with what I have right now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm kind of running out of space, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that after you accumulate a certain amount of gear, unless you're a hoarder and you just want to have more and more guitars, you kind of, it forces you to evaluate what you have. I'm usually, what I do is if I get something new, then automatically something's on the chopping block, and so it forces me to kind of reevaluate what I have and say, okay. I don't need 5 amps or whatever it is. Which one am I getting rid of now to kind of scratch another itch if there's something else that I'm interested in? So I did that recently with my amps. I just plugged everything in and I was playing them, A-Bing them, and just seeing like which one I really bonded with. And but unfortunately, that changes every day. Like, so one day you'll really gravitate towards one and not feel that great about the other one, and then a couple of days later you're like, but this one actually sounds very good. So it's a hard thing to do. I don't know if you're like me and you do that.
I used to do that. I used to, like, the same mindset as you. Like, if I'm going to plan to get something new, I'm going to sell some old ones. But through the years, I kind of regretted that because there are some guitars that I should not have let go. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and go, okay, where's that guitar?
It's like, oh no.
Why did I sell it? Why did I sell it? Damn. And wow, after all these episodes of guitars coming in and out of this place, I kind of decided, okay, if this is the one, I'm gonna keep it. Like I had a Tokai 335 semi-solid clone there, and I bought it secondhand, used, and I was planning to sell it actually. But before selling, I passed it to my friend Jeff, and I passed it to him. It was there in his house for like 3 months, and then I reviewed a Heritage 335 clone.
Yeah.
Right. And I played it and I go, oh, I missed my Tokai.
Yeah,
it's a good thing I didn't sell it, right?
Yeah,
so I got it back home. So now it's back home.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. Right?
Yeah, that's actually a good strategy, is just lend it to somebody for a while and see if you miss it, so that if you have remorse, you can always get it back.
Yeah, if you don't need the cash, right? But there were occasions somewhere back in the 2000s and 2005 when I was strapped for cash.
Yeah.
That was the worst part of my whole music career because the MP3 came in and the CDs were stuff like that. So I was losing jobs to the left and right, and I decided to sell off some of my guitars, and I sold off my Taylor 5 Series 12 string, which I regretted to this day. It was a great guitar, but I sold it. I sold a couple of guitars back in those days, and some I don't regret, some I regret. But it is what it is.
It is what it is. You learn as you go through it, right? But,
yeah, that's right.
So one of our viewers says, great, 2 of my favorite YouTubers at the same time. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Bud says, any advice on cleaning flat finished guitars? I only had one flat finished guitar. That was my Wolfgang that I purchased on a whim when I went to Vegas for a trade show, and I just happened to go into a guitar store, and I played. I never really liked those guitars because I wasn't crazy about the shape of them, but actually when I played them, they actually felt quite nice. They were kind of like they kind of felt smaller for some reason, I guess the body shape. Anyways, that one had a flat body, and I don't really like flat bodies because when they're painted flat, they tend to wear. So you have like glossy parts where your hands are touching the body, and then the rest of it's like matte. So it kind of becomes like a little bit blotchy. So how to clean it, I don't know. I mean, the best advice I have would be to use whatever gentle cleaner you can get. Usually you don't have to go crazy. I don't know if Jonathan has advice for that. Maybe he knows better than I do. But I tend to use like the little spray cleaners if it's a poly. Use the Pledge. Yeah, some people use the Pledge.
Yeah, it works, and it's cheap. Yeah, so why not? It's good for the furniture. It's good for the guitar. So
if your guitar has a poly finish, really you can use like most anything. Poly is like you're basically just cleaning the plastic.
Even if it's not it's not finished, like raw wood, it works. So
yeah. Some people say that it has like a wax buildup, but whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna take a while to build up any kind of wax. So,
Yeah. I mean, the guitar, if it's like, if it's well utilized, well played, you'll probably have all your body wax all over the place.
yeah,
Sometimes, when I'm playing a whole lot, Singapore, I'm in Singapore, so it's totally humid.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
We are averaging like 33 to 35 degrees a day,
yeah,
every day for 365. So sometimes when I'm playing my blues boys, right at the side where, you rest your shoulders, where you rest your hands,
sure,
it gets a bit gunky because
yeah,
of the
sticky,
sweat,
yeah,
perspiration. And everything. You gotta clean it off. It's easy to clean off. So.
Sure,
And if a guitar is well played, you're gonna have all this gunk, and that
Yeah.
shows that you're doing what it's supposed to do.
That's it. That's what
You're
they're
playing the guitar that you bought.
That's what they're made for, right?
Yeah, and it's easy to clean them up. You
Yeah.
know? I've done like self maintenance, self cleaning at home all the time.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, there are guys out there who have money to burn, just send it to the shop for a setup.
Yeah. Not me.
All that I don't I don't do that. I already do it myself because that's my guitar.
Me too.
And I know every nook and cranny of it, so I know how to maintain it. So
Absolutely, and I feel like I bringing it to a guitar shop is my last scenario. Like if I really can't fix it, or I don't feel like I have the tools to do it myself,
Yeah.
then I'll
Yeah.
bring it. But otherwise, setups I do myself.
I have great friends in the guitar repairing business, luthiers and all that, and they give me great advice. And I'm wondering and scratching my head, why are you giving them advice? Because if you're giving me advice, I won't bring the guitars to you anymore.
Yeah.
And he says, no, Uncle John, they call me Uncle John. It's okay. You can do it yourself. So because I have enough guitars to settle,
Yeah.
I don't need small things
Small
because
jobs,
I can't earn a lot from them. So
Right.
I have a lot of jobs. So I'm going to teach you all this so that you can actually do self-maintenance
Yeah.
at home. And because I love you, I said, oh, okay, cool.
That's a good guy. That's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I have, I usually, I learned a lot by just building guitars and fixing guitars and learning what not to do the hard way. But it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It actually also gives me a little bit of time to think when you're working on a guitar and it's quiet and everybody's sleeping. It's kind of like, it's almost like a meditation. You kind of get into it and gives your mind something to do. So I enjoy doing that.
And I want to recap what you just said before a couple of minutes ago, when you said that when you have less guitars, you tend to have a little bit more of a different mindset.
Yeah.
Because you learn to cherish that guitar that you have
Yeah.
currently.
That's true.
And one of the reasons why I do maintenance for my guitars is because sometimes you get the yearning, the gas, right? Gas.
Absolutely.
And you just want to buy a new stuff. But what I discovered is that all I need to do is just change new strings. Change the new strings, look at it from afar, and it sparkles up. It's new.
It's good.
Do a bit of polishing.
Yeah.
It's new.
Sounds different.
so
yeah.
Yeah, so that's one way to save money. I guess.
Well, what I do to save money is I actually I often switch pickups because I figured why change the entire guitar? I'm sure if you don't like the sound of the guitar or maybe it's not exactly what you want, put in a set of pickups. It's a lot less expensive than buying a whole new guitar. And sometimes they're gonna give you that new energy that you need from that particular instrument and teach you how to enjoy it again.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's many ways you can do to kind of revive that guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
Changing of the nut.
Yep.
Little stuff like that.
Little
changing
things.
to a locking tuners.
Absolutely.
And
Also,
cleaning your frets.
Also, what people like to do the insides, changing the pots or putting, something.
That's what I do too.
Upgrading the electronics. I think that makes a big difference. So that's also something that you can do. Triple S says, I just purchased some Glue Boost products thanks to your vid. Stuff really works well. That's thank you. I'm glad I was able to help. I had done a video a while back on this Glue Boost. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but I use them all the time. It's basically a CA glue, but there's different viscosities. So you're able to there's very thin to thick and thicker ones, and they give you these powders that are basically dyes that you can mix with the glue. So if you're doing any kind of minor repairs of the finish, if you have a crack or a chip, you could actually use it to repair your guitars. And I've been using that a lot, and it actually works very well. So
okay.
if ever there's a chip or a crack and you want to repair it quickly, a little bit of glue boost, you sand it down, repolish it, and it disappears, and it really works well. So
okay.
yeah, so I just wanted to give a shout out to that. And Alan says that waterless car cleaner is great for matte black guitars. I don't even know what that is. What is a waterless car cleaner? I've never tried that, but that's a good tip.
Oh, it's like cleaning your car without using water. So it's like a wax thing. You just spray on your car and you just kind of buff it after a while.
Okay. I see.
But in its liquid form, it's able to like lift up all the dirt
Right.
for the first row and then spray it again, and it becomes like a wax covering.
Okay.
Kind of like polish.
No, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
That's a good tip. Yeah, that's one thing that I learned is that most products that will work for cars will probably work for guitars most of the time.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah, all the time. I have one of those scratch removers, for cars,
Yeah.
which I bought like 15 years ago, and it's still working. So I use it for my bike, for my road bike, and now I'm using it for my guitars.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but like I have a little bottle of Maguire's wax. You can
Yep.
buy it in a car auto
Yep.
parts
Yep.
section of the store, and it's just a white. It looks like
It's
a
like
watery,
solid.
like a watery toothpaste kind of thing, and it has a minor grit to it, but it actually can polish up the minor scratches. So when you're
Really
when
nice.
you're working on guitar finishes, it really is the last steps in the process when you're doing the sanding and all of that. So Fat Philosopher wants to know how often we clean our guitars. For me, I don't. You know what? I usually clean my guitars when I do a string change, and I don't always I don't change my strings for no reason. I'll change my strings when they break. So and since there's quite a few guitars in the collection, sometimes they go quite a while without getting clean. But whenever
Do you perspire? Do you perspire?
not that much.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
But I do.
That's great.
When I take out the strings, I take the opportunity to hydrate the fretboard and clean
Uh-huh.
the
Yeah.
dust underneath the frets near the pickups and do the whole thing. So I do
Yeah,
a full adjustment whenever I change my strings. How about you?
I have a friend who perspires really badly, right and left. So I would sometimes take his guitar for reviews, and he has great guitars, like expensive guitars, the PRSs and all that.
Yeah.
But then the bridge will be all rusted.
Yeah.
The frets will be all rusted. I go, what in the world are you doing? No, bro, I wipe it down every time I play. But then okay. I have to do cleaning for him in
Yeah.
order to make a presentable presentation, right? But thank God I don't perspire a lot. So my strings doesn't need a whole lot of changing. I probably change strings like every, 2 months? If I'm not playing the guitar a lot. Like this 2G now, which I play a lot, and the Harley Benton, I'll probably change that every 1.5 months.
Okay.
And like you, I would oil the frets,
Yeah.
the fretboard, and do some minor tweaking here and there. And
Yeah. Exactly.
intonation,
Yes.
the intonation always run because,
Yeah.
like I said, I live in a humid country.
Yep.
It runs like it's like very temperamental sometimes,
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you'll be playing all right, and it goes like, whoa, what's happening? And then you got to tweak a little bit before you play, before you record. So I guess doing videos for me is a good way to maintain my guitars.
It is, yeah. It really makes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
aware of what the things sound like, whether they're good or bad when you're listening back. And sometimes
Yeah.
you only hear it or only notice it after, and you're like, oh man,
Yeah.
I don't want to re-record the thing over again. I'm just gonna leave it. But
And it's irritating, sometimes
Yeah.
when you hear back videos like, you made like 2 months ago,
Yeah.
oh, that was flat, oh, that was sharp. And you go, oh man, what?
That's true. And I always I gravitate towards certain guitars because I know that certain guitars that I have, especially if you just put new strings on them, they're going to be all over the place because the strings need time to stretch.
Yeah.
So when you're doing a video, after you change your strings right away, they're always going to
Yep.
be, that G string is out of tune or the B string's out of tune. And you're always going to get somebody that's going to say, tune your guitar in the comments
Yeah,
and
you
stuff
get that.
like
You
that.
get it all the time.
All the time.
And I appreciate that because
Yeah.
it's always good to have a third ear listening. And,
Sure.
But there are guys who we don't want to mention. Those
Overdo
guys
it.
are just out just to
Yeah,
put
yeah.
you down. But there are guys who are genuinely like concerned, like, hey, Jonathan,
Yep.
It's kind of wonky.
Yep.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because I get to review guitars that comes in straight from the shop.
Yep.
And these are like brand new guitars, like the new GNLs. They'll just arrive at the shop, and I get first dip on it, and I'll bring it home. And they're generally well set up in GNL, but that is in LA, in California.
Yeah.
So by the time it comes here, a whole lot is what happened. And so I had to like intonate the strings, make sure the neck is set in the action that I'm comfortable with when I'm doing the presentation. And sometimes you miss, sometimes the strings are not stretched out properly. So during the course of the whole thing, you get a bit out of tune. But I have good subscribers. They're really gentle with me, so it's okay.
I have this little tool that I use. I forget what it's called. I think it's just called the string stretcher or something like that. I don't know. It's a little plastic tool that you just basically it grabs your string individually, and it puts some tension on it, and you just slide it up and down your string a couple of times, and it actually stretches your strings, and it really gets them to stretch quicker. So that
where do you get it from, Tony? You have all the toys.
I bought it online. It's on my bench. It's just a little. It's probably like, I don't know, $5 or something. It's just a little plastic.
What is it called? String stretcher?
Yeah, I have to go get it. It's something.
String torturer?
I'll find the link and I'll send it to you. It's just a little stretcher. You could probably make one yourself. It's just two little pivot points that take the string and pass it between it, like, so it just stretches it, and then you just go up and down a couple of times.
Oh, cool. I used to like stretch strings this way, by hand.
Just pull them.
And I break a lot. I break a lot of strings.
Yeah.
And I think that would be good.
Yeah. The other trick that I learned from Joe Walsh is he always used to say, whenever you tune your guitars, you never tune down, always tune up.
Tune up.
So
sharp.
Yeah. So what he says is, like, if the string happens to be like sharp, what you do is pull the string and then tune it up. Don't tune it down. And that, for some reason, works. I guess it just keeps the string tension going. I don't know. So
that works if you have a fixed bridge.
Yeah.
It will not work if you have a floating bridge, like my Strats. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And the way with the floating tremolo arm is when you wang, when you like down, and you bring it right up, you'll run every time, right? Yeah. That's probably the most annoying problem that guitars with tremolo systems have. So what I do is, like, I will stretch everything, and then when I wang, it will go sharp, stretch again, wang again. You have to do that a couple of times, maybe about 6-7 times.
Yeah.
You have to have patience, and after that, it just stays perfectly in tune. The GNL Comanche that I have, even the Harley Benton with the Wilkinson bridge, it stays perfectly in tune after all this. And you don't have to be afraid of them going out of tune unless you accidentally bump the head stock against the wall or something like that.
There's some of them that are better than others, because also with my guitars too, there's some that are just the angle of the way the strings come out of the nut is super important. Yep. That's one of the defects with the Gibson guitars. That's why
Gibson Les Pauls. Spoke about this.
The G's are always out of tune because there's more of a break angle. So those are. But one thing that I'm going to share with the people that are watching, in case they don't know, because there might be some people that just are not aware of this. The first thing, like Jonathan said, if you're changing strings, anytime you go up or down a string gauge, you always have to fix your intonation. But a lot of people, new players, don't know this, but it's just, you have to do it because your intonation is going to be off. The other thing that you have to check whenever you change your string gauge, especially if you're going to a thicker string gauge, is to make sure your slots and your nuts are wide enough to accommodate the new gauges. And the easy way to do this, I think I showed it in one of my videos, is just once your strings are on the guitar, just go to the nut, take the string on either side of the nut, just loosen it a little bit and pluck it out. Just lift it out of the nut. If you hear a ping, like a little ping sound like that, it means the nut is grabbing your string and it's not wide enough. So you shouldn't hear anything. The string should be able to come out of the nut slot without any kind of resistance or any kind of snagging. If you do that, you'll have a lot less issues with stability in your tuning.
And I have a solution for that, because all you need is a fine grit sandpaper.
Yeah.
If you are pinging, right, and just kind of like gently file the side of the nut where the string is at, just a side.
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah.
It works, And if that doesn't work,
A little
use
bit of
this.
a little bit of pencil lead or
Yeah, pencil lead,
yeah, or
works hard.
lip gloss or anything. Some people use
KY
chapstick.
jelly.
Yeah, that's it.
My wife was telling me that, and if you can't find KY jelly, then just open up a packet of condoms. You probably say those lubricated ones. That will work.
My wife would get nervous if she would see like a bottle of KY jelly in my guitar case. And it's like, where are you going with that?
Oh, that's my guitar, girl. That's my guitar, though. Nothing to do. You
Yeah,
come
yeah.
and do that.
It's like I swear. Oh man, that's funny.
Oh, is this suitable for children?
Yeah, I think most of the viewers are above 18, so we should be okay. But yeah, that's definitely a couple of tricks that I've learned over time, and I think they'll help you guys out. Let's go back to some questions. I think there's some questions in the list here. Yeah, so Casey says use a string butler on a Les Paul to help the G and B strings. Yeah, I saw the device. I just don't like the way it looks. It looks like kind of like
Same here. And I just spoke about this, and I think it works. I think it works perfectly because the way it is, it has rollers, so that you kind of channel the angle down.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get one of those for my Tokai, because my Tokai is not staying in tune well enough for my liking.
Yeah, check the nut.
Yeah.
Usually the nut is a problem. It's just
it's that you can't do anything about it because of the angle.
Yeah.
You know how Les Pauls are like. It's the same. The Tokai is the same design as the Les Paul.
Yeah.
So it has that angle, and that's the problem. And you go weirdo. You go wonky on the third and the fourth string all the time.
That's true. But what kind of nut does that have? Is it a bone nut?
It's a bone nut.
It's a bone nut. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice bone nut. I love bone nuts.
Yeah,
I love bone nuts.
Me too. But I'm a big fan of a GNL guitar. I used to have one. That's one of the guitars that I regret selling. I bought one very early on when Leo was still around, right?
Wow.
Yeah, after he sold Fender, and so it was one of like the beginning runs that they were doing, and it was really a great guitar. It was a Legacy that I bought, and it was a honey burst, like a sunburst but honey, a maple neck. Really a great guitar. And I don't know why I sold that guitar. I should have kept it. That was one of the stupid things.
You should have kept it.
I should have.
I think the guys in North America had it made right now, because I've seen a whole lot of posting from GNL. Because I follow them in Facebook, and they're like churning out guitars for Sweetwater. I think Sweetwater have an entire floor just for GNL guitars, I think. And beautiful, the bursts and the wood grain and everything that are coming out, the Akuma wood, the swamp ashes that they have for the Comanche, the ASAS and all that. Beautiful. And the thing about GNL guitars is that it's really well made.
Yes.
I don't work for GNL. I love GNL. I'm a fanboy, so I just love the way it's made, and it's consistent. That's the thing. It's consistent.
Yeah.
Whereas in other brands, sometimes you get like inconsistency across the range. Even the more expensive ones.
Absolutely, it's really true. The thing that I also wanted to say about GNL is that I think they're getting set up for a custom shop line. So what they're gonna do, I think I saw a posting, I think on Instagram or something, where they showed a picture of one of their warehouse spaces that they were gonna convert into a custom shop section. So what they're gonna be doing, I think, is gonna be offering custom shop options.
No, they have been offering that for the longest time.
So what I don't know why they were posting that. I guess they're just expanding the space or what.
Yeah, maybe because of Sweetwater, I guess. Sweetwater is like demanding a whole lot of GNL guitars. They have been doing custom orders since the longest of time. And if you go down to their website, they have a form for you to fill up if you want to. The choice of necks, choice of wood, choice of fretboard, and everything, including the pickups and everything. So you can custom build your own thing and just send it to them, ask them for a quote, and they'll send you a quote. Okay. Like City Music in Singapore, where they are distributing GNL guitars. This is what I will do, and which I'm planning to do once things get better, because I'm dying to custom make one myself.
Yeah.
So
I gotta check that out. I didn't know they did that. I gotta check it out.
Oh yeah.
I gotta see
It's
how
great.
much what the prices are like. If they're cheaper than the custom shop stuff from Fender, then we're okay.
I
If
think they are. I think they
I
are. I
hope
think
so.
they are cheap. Yeah, they are cheaper. Of course, if you compare them to the warm-up guitars, like warm-up is
Yeah,
I think it's a player's dream when it comes to customizing what they want.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So the reason why I didn't go for the warm-up route is because I wanted something from G&L. The things that they have, like for example, the MFD pickups
Okay.
are the dual fulcrum tremolo arm, which I think is the best tremolo arm I've ever played.
Okay.
And yeah, the various other things like the way it looks, But if I were to go to the warm-up thing, I had to like source out like Wilkinson bridges or Floyd Rose or whatever, the six screws traditional or whatever I want to do, and that would be like a traditional looking
Right.
thread.
Yep.
And I might as well get a Fender.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, I have the luxury of like choosing woods, and all that, but it's going to cost me a bomb too if I want to get exotic woods, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the reason why I didn't go for that. And thank God that G&L came along in Singapore. So okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
The same here. Like oftentimes, I want to get something a little bit custom, so I just build it. I build it myself. Like Fender is a great platform for that because all you need to do is just. I mean, it's Lego pieces. They go together easily. So you get the type of neck you want, the profile you want, the type of pickups you want. If you don't like the bridge, most of the time other companies make bridges that you can drop in. So
Yeah.
you can basically build your own kind of custom shop guitar. The problem with that is nobody will want to buy it after. It's like
That's right.
you have to part.
I used to have a warm-up tally with bird's eye maple body.
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful. It's like it's raw, like it's unfinished, right? EMG pickups, Floyd Rose, roasted maple, bird's eye maple neck. Beautiful guitar, with the fretboard, it's all in one piece. And I had it for the longest time, but I sold it away and I regret it until today. It's one of the best warm-up guitar that I ever laid my hands on.
Yep.
And when I last checked with the shop that bought the guitar from me, they kind of cannibalized it.
Oh, okay.
So like they sold the neck to someone else and they left the body, and that's so sad.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. For me, I think if I can get a neck with a profile that I want to get, that would be like that's the only critical for me. That's the only real critical aspect of a guitar that I can build myself, because the bodies. I mean, yeah, you have preferences for woods and colors and shapes, but the neck is really what makes the guitar. The thing is, when you're buying necks, it's very difficult to buy a neck online because they'll describe it to you,
Yeah.
but it really doesn't tell you what it is. You have to actually hold it in your hands, because a millimeter more, a millimeter less makes a huge difference in terms of how it feels in your hands. So it's kind of really hard. Like I've been eyeing the Warmoth necks. I figured maybe in the next one I'll spend a little bit more and buy a Warmoth neck. But even at that, I don't really know, what you're gonna get. And at the end, if you spend $400 on a neck or $450 on a neck, and then you don't like it, it's like, oh man, It's
Yeah. That's exactly why I advocated strongly for going to the shops and getting a guitar and playing it.
Yeah.
And not buying online unless you're really sure what you're gonna get. And then again, you run the risk of someone sending you the wrong thing, and then you have the whole hassle of sending it back. Yeah. Or you guys in North America, you guys are covered. But guys like me, I'm in Southeast Asia. If I order something from Sweetwater or something like that, for me to send that thing back,
it's a real pain. Yeah.
So I'd rather go down to the shop and try a guitar, and if I liked it, I buy it there and then.
Yeah. That's the best way of doing it for sure. I've done it where I have multiple strats, and I'll say okay, there's two maple necks, but I prefer one over the other. I'll take the neck on the one I prefer, switch it, and then eventually sell the other one and just say, whatever, it's like, because that's the feel, that's the one I like, that's the feel I'm after, so it's one way of upgrading without going crazy. But so let's see what other questions these guys have been up to. They're having conversations without us, Jonathan.
It's cool. It happens to me all the time.
Let's join in on the fun. Let's see what they're talking about. So Triple S just says he just finished a Wormuth build as well, and he loves it. I mean, that's fantastic when you actually get what you're looking for, and you put it together and you're happy with it. It's great. What you really need to do at the end of the day is have something that encourages you to play. So Triple S also says, and now Fender has all styles of affordable replacement necks, now made in Mexico. So where do you get these necks, these replacement necks? Do you just order them from Fender, or I don't know?
Yeah, you order them from Fender. Yeah,
I haven't seen this. So, and they're affordable. When you say affordable, what does that mean? Like $300 or $400, $200?
I guess it depends on the wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the wood, and what you have, like jumbo frets.
Yep.
What sort of nut you have.
Do you I know that the Harley Benton that you got the Fusion 2, I think, right? To review?
The one that you reviewed,
the Fusion 2, yeah.
It's like what, dark blue in color for you?
Yeah, like an aqua. Yeah, it's I have it over here. So that one has stainless steel frets.
That's right.
What do you think of stainless steel frets?
I love stainless steel frets. I mean, I've heard like comparison, or like nerdy comparison with the stainless steel as opposed to the nickels, the traditional fret material. For the life of me, it's just a real slight difference.
Yeah,
just a slight difference in tone.
Yeah, they're a little bit brighter, I think. Just slightly.
Just
brighter.
A little bit, just a touch. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to like drastically change the sound of your guitar. But what I like about it is the longevity of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend like
that's the whole point. Yeah.
A couple of $100 every 5 years or so to kind of refret my guitar. And I got to do that with my G&L. So my custom G&L is going to be stainless steel.
Yeah, I think if you're playing a guitar a lot, it's definitely worthwhile because I haven't tried stainless steel frets on a Les Paul though. I'm curious how that would change the sound on a Les Paul.
No, I don't think it's going to change all that.
It probably look, once the drummer kicks in, it doesn't make a difference. But it's just like for your own, I have a Tokai Black Beauty style guitar that I have, and it's been played quite a bit. I bought it used, so that's gonna probably be due for a fret change eventually. So that might be an option there. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it is a lot more expensive to put in stainless steel frets.
It's okay. I mean, you just bite the bullet.
Yeah, that's it.
Just go for it.
Yeah, you pay a little bit more, but
when I look at my Tokai, the fret wear on it is like, it's like you just don't. Well, it plays all right. Doesn't go out of tune. Doesn't sometimes what guitars have in common. The most common problem that they have is for the first 4 frets.
Yeah.
The intonation is like all gone because everybody plays chords over there, and the frets get worn out. So this is the only problem that I have. But so far, I haven't encountered any intonation problem with that Tokai. But once I do encounter that, then it's time for refretting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna change stainless steel.
It's well worth it, I think. I mean, I only have 2 guitars, just the Fusion and the Sur guitar that have stainless steel. The rest are just traditional, so I'm happy with either one. I'm not that picky.
How do you like the Fusion T?
I like it. I've been playing it. I've been playing it a lot. The other one, I mean, I like Telecasters. That one's not really a Telecaster because it has humbuckers in it, so it's a little bit different. But I do like it. The Fusion 2, I just changed the pickups in that one. I wanted just to try a couple of new pickups, and I'll be doing a video on that as well. Just to see. I mean, the ones that come stock are not bad. I like the pickups. The Roswell pickups are decent. I think the new,
which guitar is this?
The Fusion, the Fusion. I'll grab it.
HSH?
No, it's just HH. This guy. This guy.
Oh, that's the one I used to have.
Yeah.
These are the same pickups that is on the Fusion T.
It's the same pickups. So
it's the LAFs.
Yeah, so that's why I decided to change the pickups in this one, because I do have the Telecaster style one. It's the same pickups. So these are Jalen pickups, and I ordered them from him. He wound them for me, And yeah, raw nickel covers. I just like the raw nickel
Nice.
a lot more than the chrome for some reason.
Yeah.
But it's a
I
good.
sold it. I sold this guitar.
You sold it, yeah?
I sold it
So
because I was so impressed with the Fusion T that I was thinking there's no need for me to have two similar sounding guitars. So
that's true. Once you have one, unless you change the pickups, then
if I want to change,
you have two different sounding guitars. But yeah, but
I needed more space.
yeah, exactly. I like it so far. I'm gonna hang on to it for a bit. I mean, it's really a great guitar.
It is. It is.
The sum of the parts are quite good. I just noticed something though. Here, look at this. I don't know if you can see this. There's an Allen key. Sorry, I'm on the wrong.
Yeah, there's a screw there.
It's coming out.
Yeah,
it's coming loose. I don't know why. That's something.
It happens. It happens.
That's maybe
just put it back in.
Yeah, I know, but maybe that's not a good design on these this particular type of bridge. I never had that problem with any other bridges. I'm gonna check that out. Anyway, I'm gonna put. Maybe I've been going a little bit too heavy on the whammy bar. Not sure. Been knocking the screws out.
I actually used this on stage in one of the shows that I did, and it was good. It actually sounded better than my Fusion Pro HSH.
Okay.
You know? So because of the humbuckers, I guess it's really nice, real solid. You know.
For me,
For
me, the having that single coil in the middle with humbuckers, it's always been a hindrance. I always end up hitting it with my pick, so I don't.
Yeah. That was actually that was a problem. That's my problem for every every guitar with humbuckers. I'm so used to playing like single, or single, double. So I have accustomed my my right hand to be at a position, right? So it's always there. But when I have a humbucker pickup, right smack in the neck,
it gets in the way.
Always, and then you hear the pick hitting the pickup cover.
Yeah.
So it's like
that happens with some even with some Strats when the middle pickup it tends to be a little bit higher, closer to the string. Sometimes the pick will hit that. So there was a question for you. And Strat 5150 says, in your small studio, what do you play through to get tone without volume?
Okay, what I do is I don't use the amps that you see here. They're just for show. This is from the shop, so it hasn't gone back yet because of the COVID-19. And this is my amp. So I occasionally use this amp every once in a while for recording. I'll mic it up. But these days I use the Line 6 Helix Native for all my recordings, in all my videos, in all my recordings, whether it's in my production or anything like that. The good thing about the Helix Line 6 Native is because it works in conjunction with my Helix Line 6 floorboard, which I use for my live situation. So I can actually tone it in my speakers here. I have a pair of studio speakers, the Audix. So I'm actually hearing what I'm hearing right now, right? And then I can just save that preset into my Helix floorboard. So when I bring it for a live show, it would sound exactly the same, or almost similar to what I'm hearing at home. Of course, the venues will play a difference in terms of the area, and what sort of floor monitors you have, the FRFRs that you have in front of you, and the in-ear monitoring. So that's where the global EQ comes in, from the Helix. But as far as getting tone is just from my Helix Native. This is how I work.
The Helix sounds great. I've always had that itch to get one. Eventually, maybe I will. They're not cheap, but they do everything pretty well. So that's a great tool. Yeah. So I as far as floorboards go, I swing back and forth. I end up getting one, then selling it, going back to pedals, then getting another one, keeping it for a while, selling it, going back to pedals, because the ones that I've purchased early on, they weren't very expensive. I tried the Line 6, I tried the Boss GT series, I tried even earlier than that, like the Pods and the Johnson. Those were like, back then they were okay. Now they sound terrible.
No, sounds good. I still like the sound of Pod.
Yeah,
the first generation Pod. They had it right. They hit it right the first time.
Yeah.
And I was using it for coming from a guy who used Rockman, back in those days.
I remember those. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the rock was a godsend, and the pod was a godsend because it sounded really great in the studio.
Yeah.
And well, I guess I don't know about you in your channel whether you have a lot of young subscribers. The thing is that in Singapore we have a lot of young players, and these guys are kind of fluent.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? Some of them are not full-time musicians. Some of them are like just playing it for fun.
Sure.
But they'll buy the Line 6 stuff. They'll buy the Helix and everything. They'll pay like thousands and thousands of dollars for all the Factual and all that. But they sell it within a month.
Yeah.
Right. And they're selling it like real cheap. And half the time, if I do encounter any one of those guys, I will ask them, I say, why do you sell your Helix, for example, so fast? Like 1.5 months. I mean, what's up? You didn't like the sound? The common answer that they give. The learning curve.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it takes me too long to learn it. I can't get the sound that I have in my head.
Yeah.
And my answer is that that's because you're not spending enough time. That you just want to shortcut out. A lot of us want to shortcut out to everything. I've been teaching, so I know some of my students will, want to short way out. To get to playing. What they see in the YouTube videos as short a period as possible.
Absolutely.
So they have this over entitlement sort of over entitled mindset that when I buy a $2,000 worth of gear, I expect it to work for me there and then.
Right away.
Doesn't work
out of the box.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. It's not plug and play.
No, absolutely
like,
not.
If I buy a Vox amp and this thing costs like I don't know about $800 or something, $900. What, to get a tone out of this, just plug in my guitar and that's it? No, you got to play around with your setting, your gain setting, your EQ setting, and whatever, and then there's your effects and everything, right? So the Helix is like a whole universe of things that you can do. The patching, you can do a bi-amp setting, whole stuff of effects to play from, whole collection of amps and cap simulators, and then there's the IRs, right? The impulse responses, and there's a whole lot of stuff. So you need to spend time in that universe to know what's going on. And these guys just don't want to spend that time.
That's one of the biggest things that for me, have me going to pedals every now and then. Is just because when you buy one of these units, you have so many options. It's option paralysis sometimes. And if you don't know what you're after in terms of sound, you can be flip-flopping back and forth, and you could be spending a lot of time just like I'm very OCD about that. I want the sound like when I get my sounds, I typically plug it in, and I'll play the MP3 through the device, through the headphones, and I try to match the sound of the guitar, and until I can tweak it, like really tweak it close. And you can spend so much time doing that at the end you go crazy a little bit,
Yeah.
So I understand that aspect, and especially if you're just jumping into it without a prior experience where you don't even know like what all the effects do, then it's like you will never be able to get a good sound out of it because you don't even know how to use the actual effects individually, and never mind putting them together to get a good sound, right? So sometimes less is more, but I've tried the Headrush unit also recently, and that wasn't a cheap unit either, and it was good. I'm not saying it wasn't good, but I sometimes, I just want to get the sound of like that raw sound closer to an amplifier, and I felt that sometimes the multi-effect unit, they're giving you a little bit more of that like recorded sound as opposed to the raw speaker sound, the raw amplifier sound. So for right now, I'm enjoying the Ampero. It's not the most expensive, and it has limitations, but it forces me to kind of think outside the box a little bit more when I'm building the sound. So it's okay. But I still have
we spoke about the Ampero, right? The other day we spoke about
a little
Ampero.
bit, yeah. But I still have my pedals. I still like going through my amplifiers. Most of the time when I do a pedal review or something, I'm going through an amp with speakers. So
I had two pedals from my friend who passed it to me today. So this is the Tube Screamer, and this is the MXR 78 Distortion.
Okay.
So I'm going to compare this to what they have in the Helix and see how close they are.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it's great, because I started with pedals. I used to have those Boss pedals.
Me too.
And then they came in a plastic box, kind of thing. right? You can put a tuner on top. It's pretty cute, like it's
where
gray
you
in
can
color.
collect all of them.
Yeah. And I used to have 2 boxes of it because it just outgrows the first box.
Yeah, that's true.
And I went through all that. I love pedals.
Yeah.
It's just that as technology evolved, like in-ear monitors, stuff like that. Sometimes I don't even use the amp or even the FFR on stage. Totally devoid of anything on stage. All I need to hear is from my IEMs.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to depend on pedals, how I'm going to get by this? Put my amp in another room somewhere else and mic it up.
That's
it. And so with the Helix, everything is solved. And all my problems are solved. Because I'm already hearing it.
That's why a lot of gigging musicians just gravitate towards that solution, because it's so easy. It just makes it a lot less headaches. And
because I've been in live situations where we have open air concerts, like we have like 60,000 people, and this is right in the middle of China or in Taiwan or where we were playing, and then it starts to rain.
Yeah.
And it pours, and I can see my other guitarist. He was using a Marshall or something like that, and the rain just came down. That's it.
Oh man.
I'm still playing.
Oh,
I'm still playing.
That hurts.
So,
yeah.
So you see all this, and I've been through I played through like incredible situations. That I played through a number 9 typhoon in Hong Kong, in Guangzhou, and I see like parts of the stage flying. From 11.
Man.
Right?
The show must go on. You still play.
Show goes on. And you know what I was afraid of all the time? I was afraid of the park cans that was like lighting the stage.
Well, yeah, for
And
sure.
this was back in like the year 2000,
Yeah.
1999, year 2000. And then, China was kind of like, kind of like, we can't really trust the workmen.
Yeah.
How they stage the stage,
Right.
how they
You don't
hook
know.
up the stage. I'm like thinking, do the park cans have like safety hooks? No safety hooks.
Oh boy.
And if anything was to like drop, it would
That's
drop
it.
on our head,
That's it.
and that's it, gone.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
it was 9/9, and it was like the wind wasn't, the rain wasn't coming this way, the rain was coming this way.
Oh, boy. See, these are things that the audience never thinks about, right? They're just like, whatever. But the guy playing is like, he's
But I was like mortified by the fact that a lot of the audience stayed within the whole shebang. The wind was blowing, the rain was coming, and then the stage top ripped off.
Oh, boy.
Because of the weight of the rain, it ripped, and the water just came down on the drummer, and the drummer was playing,
like splashing.
right? And my amps were all wet, my guitars were all wet, and then the power gave up. Then we only have the drum and the vocalist. So we all put down guitars, we came out and danced. That was the end of the show. Game over. You can. We took our money. You can go back now.
Yeah. And just worrying about getting electrocuted. I mean, oh my God, I can.
Oh
just
yeah.
imagine.
And those were like real
pleasant.
dangerous, right?
Oh man. Oh.
Those were really.
We have Paul has he made a comment here. He says he's thinking of becoming a YouTuber, mostly pedals. I own over 100, still in production. Thoughts?
Wow.
Okay, let's give him some thoughts. So Paul, how much time do you have? The cool thing, I mean, if you enjoy pedals and you enjoy music and stuff, and it's a labor of love, it's a great thing to do. But it will require a lot of time. It will require equipment. I mean, editing time for every video we put up. I don't know about Jonathan. Maybe his process is streamlined, but it takes a lot of time to record these things, make it sound properly. So you definitely have to have a lot of time. So that's my advice to you. The thing with YouTube right now is that they're really clamping down on new content producers. Like, before you can actually start making money and monetize your videos, you have to have, I think, a certain amount of followers. I think it's like 2,000 or 4,000 or something.
1,000.
1,000. Is it 1,000? Okay.
It dropped it. It dropped the drum number.
So before, and it takes a long time. I mean, it's not an overnight thing. There's a lot of competition, especially in for gear reviews. Every day there's new people doing it. So if you enjoy it, then I encourage you to do it. If you're doing it to get rich, forget it. if you're doing it to promote your products because you sell them or whatever, then it might be a good way of supplementing your marketing activity. But that's my advice. I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe Jonathan has other advice for you. I don't know, but that's
Yeah,
that's
I think Paul, if you're really loving pedals, and you had this affection for pedals, like I had affection for guitars, then go for it.
Yep.
But make sure you do something that is honest.
Yeah.
Like review that pedal for what it is. Like Harley Benton sent me guitars in, right? So there's this temptation not to do any hard criticism on the guitars because, hey, they sent me this guitar, so you have this struggle within me. But for me, it wasn't really a struggle, because if it's bad, it's bad. You just call it as it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is that they actually sent me good guitars. So maybe it's the way Harley Benton is. I don't know. I've been buying the guitars for like since I first started this channel 2 years ago, and I was never disappointed at their after sales service. I was never disappointed at the quality of guitars. So, I mean, if a guitar comes in really badly set up, yeah, I will make noise about it, because that's what I receive, right?
Sure.
So be honest in your review. Like if your pedal comes, if you're reviewing a pedal, if the pedal sucks,
you gotta say it.
Can be gentle. You can be gentle and not say this pedal sucks, don't buy it.
No, that's it.
You can be gentle and just say the truth. Like it doesn't, just play it. Just play the pedal and people can hear it.
That's what I do. I mean, if I play a pedal, I mean, I'll give you my opinion, but at the end, really the idea is to make the people make up their minds, right? So I'm not gonna say one way or another, like buy it or not buy. Like it could be for you, it could not be for you. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just to give you the option of getting somebody to play a pedal that is not like I never play my pedal reviews with a backing track. I don't play with anything. I just play the guitar. And I don't, we can't play any kind of copyrighted music, so you can't play a song. You have to kind of noodle. But I feel that for me, I do that because for me, when I'm watching other people reviewing gear, those are the ones that give me the best idea of what that pedal really sounds like. If somebody's playing it with a backing track and drums and everything, you could polish that pedal really well and make it sound amazing in the mix. But in reality, that doesn't really tell me what it sounds like in real life. So I listen to those, but I don't base my decision, making decision on that. So that's my way of doing it. I don't even like doing pedal reviews, to be honest with you, because it takes so much time. And at the end of the day, you don't get a lot of views on pedals. It's true. Like I think Fat Philosopher mentioned that in a comment here as well. He says, lots of YouTubers, example in the blues, shy away from pedal reviews because comparatively speaking, they don't get many views. And it's kind of true. At the end of the day, the amount of time you put into a pedal review, like it could take an entire day to do something if you do it really well. And at the end, you're going to get maybe a couple hundred views out of it,
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, for me, I don't really mind, because actually I love doing pedal reviews. In contrary to what
see
what
there,
you're
think. Different. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because I love good pedals. I don't love. To tell you the truth, I don't like exotic pedals.
Boutique.
Pedals that are all hyped up, all boutique pedals, right? And they're like price, incredible pricing, right? It's like the PRSs.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not PRS guitar player going to hate me, but some of these guitars are like, some of these gears are really overpriced.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I like pedals that work. Like for example, the new Fender pedals that came out recently, like the Compulgulus.
I haven't tried them.
The MTR.
Yeah.
Those are great pedals, and I'm like so overwhelmed by the fact that they are well made. They sound great. They work. If I were to go back to a pedal board, I would probably get some of these pedals, and that's not because they didn't give me any pedals. They passed me the pedals for review. That's it. Or how I wish they actually gave it to me. But anyway, I like doing pedal reviews because you go down to the basic, and the other thing about playing with the backing tracks, I love playing with backing tracks. Why? Because then I can actually play the guitar as it is, and you can tell, because I can tell that some guitars are not really well made, and I have a struggle with it, playing it. I mean, playing in a backing track.
Right.
And I kind of like base that experience on the other section of the review, which I play the guitar as it is. Just a touch of reverb, and that's it. I'll just like noodle some stuff just to let you guys hear what this guitar sounds like in all the pickup configurations. But when I'm playing it with the backing track, this is where I know firsthand if this guitar is worth buying or not. You get what I mean? You get what I'm talking about. Yeah. Because in a live situation, when I'm playing this guitar for a show, for a song, I gotta feel good in it. Exactly. And that's the reason why I don't like to jam elsewhere, like in the clubs and all that, because I don't have my guitar with me. And I don't like playing other people's guitar with all their gunk on the fretboard.
DNA. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not used to the whole thing, right? Yeah. And that's not your sound, and you're not comfortable. So I normally don't jam with bands, outside. And it's the same thing. So when I'm playing with a backing track, I gotta feel comfortable with this guitar, as if I bought this guitar.
Yeah.
And in most cases, I did. But sometimes if it's not good enough, I sell it away.
Sure.
But that's not the reason why I sold away that green, that green ocean turquoise, right? That's not the reason. I love the guitar. The guitar plays really well. The reason why I sold this guitar because I had, a similar guitar.
Yeah.
But there are guitars like the cheap ones. The one that I reviewed from Harley Benton is the cheapest Strat around. It's like $99.
Yeah.
I actually gave it away. I didn't actually sell it. I actually gave it away to a friend of mine because, it is what it is. It's a $99 guitar. It's not bad. It's not half bad, but you can't compare this to my Strats.
It's not the same. No. I actually did a video like that where I bought a Donner guitar, which is also a Strat, and I'm sure it's the same as the Harley Benton one. It's probably just a different name on it because they look identical with the headstock and everything. So I bought that for my son because he wanted to learn how to play guitar, and I said, okay, let me get that guitar. I'll do a review on it, and then I'll upgrade it. I'll just I changed the nut on it, I changed the pickups on it, even reshaped the headstock, changed the tuners. Actually, after doing all that, it's a pretty decent guitar. I mean, I play it from time to time, and it's like, hey, this is better than I expected. But with a proper setup and with proper care, you can make an average guitar great. It's just
Yeah. I think you had the same guitar as me, the Black Paisley. Do you have it? The Black Paisley?
No.
Have it?
No.
Oh, that's another guy. That was my first Harley Benton purchase. I'm going to take it down so you can have a gander. All right. So this is the Black Paisley.
I like the top. It's really nice.
Yeah, and it's cheap. This is like what, $200 or something like that,
So this is what, a Harley Benton or something? Some other.
It's a Harley Benton. It's a Harley Benton.
Nice.
See that?
Let's see the headstock.
Can you see it?
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
And it came in well set up. Everything it plays perfectly. The neck is a bit thicker than I thought it would be, but it's comfortable.
Yeah.
The pickups for the bridge didn't work. I mean, didn't sound like what I thought it should sound.
Okay.
So I changed this whole thing to a Hot Tally Seymour Duncan set.
Nice.
And then I changed the caps inside.
Sure.
And I did
standard stuff. Yeah.
A tone bleed thing, so that even at lower volumes it doesn't treble doesn't bleed out.
Yeah.
And I changed the tuners to lock-in tuners.
Nice.
And this is one of my favorite guitars when I'm doing like a different take of a solo line. I use this extensively for the album that I did last year.
I think we're gonna be back now. Let's just get Jonathan back on the line here. Can you guys see me? Sorry about that. Hey, Jonathan. Sorry about that. Oh, man.
It happens.
You know what? It hasn't happened in a long time. But it happened now, unfortunately. But anyways, that's a sign maybe that we're going too long. But we'll just maybe instead of the little hook that they get when you're talking too long, they pull you.
Exit stitch lap.
Exactly. Well, we'll just try and answer a couple of the questions. I don't know who's still there and who's left, but if you guys are still sticking around, that's great. I appreciate that. Sorry for the little glitch there. Maybe some of the other people that are left will come back. We'll see. Where did we leave off? What was, we were talking about. What were we talking about? The
Harley Benton.
The Harley Benton Telecaster. Yeah.
Yeah. So to summarize, this is one of the guitars that I use a whole lot for my sessions, and it performed flawlessly. The sound is great. So with all the upgrades and everything, it probably set you back like maybe about 380 US, 400 US, and you get yourself a good working guitar. So why not?
Exactly. You know what? I usually give any guitar that I buy. I usually give two live sessions to determine whether or not I want to keep it or not. Like I can usually tell pretty quickly whether or not it's it'll be an easy guitar, an easy instrument to play, or if I'm going to have some challenges. But you can't really tell the voice of the guitar till you actually play it live to see how it fits in the mix.
Yeah.
There's some guitars that just fit perfectly, and other guitars you really have to struggle with to get to be heard,
Yeah, and that's what Casey asked about. Do I use the Fusion T or the Fusion OCT at a professional gig, which I mentioned earlier on that I did. I used the OCT at a gig that I played, and I was really impressed with it. I would seriously use the Fusion T, the new Fusion T, for any gig, anytime. But I'll probably it's probably going to be like in a local gig. I was supposed to do 2 shows in Singapore, at a casino in Singapore. So I was actually planning to do this in May, which didn't happen because of the COVID-19. So I had to use this in conjunction together with another guitar. So maybe the Comanche is the main guitar, and then the Fusion T is the secondary guitar, which I will use for certain songs. And I was planning to do that, but then it didn't happen. Yeah, I'm sure you do fine.
The one Maurizio has a question. He says that he's bought many guitars, mostly budget, Epiphone, PRS, SE, Squires, but thinking that I should replace them with the real thing, Fender, etc. What's your take on this?
I think you should if you have the funds. I think it's good that you have been through all these guitars, the Epiphones, the SEs, and the Squires, which incidentally are actually great guitars. The Squires are really great guitars.
The classic vibe
if you have the right ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's good that if you are financially able to, then get a real Fender or a real Gibson or a real PRS, But like I said, I'm not an advocate for overpriced guitars.
Me too.
I'm an advocate for guitars that work flawlessly every time, and I have no problems like, is this going to be flimsy? Is my nut going to fall off? Or,
That's the last.
I'm going to scratch. If I hit the guitar against the car, I'm going to be heartbroken because that guitar costs like $5,000.
Yeah.
I don't want that. I want a guitar that I can bash around with if I need to.
It's fine.
And yet perform flawlessly.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. I said it before on my videos and even in some of the live chats. I have some cheap guitars and I have budget guitars and more expensive guitars, and the more expensive guitars spend most of their time in the case because I don't want to wreck them. I have a nice 335 from Gibson. It's in the case most of the time. I have a PRS guitar that I bought a long time ago.
Wait. Let me pause you there. Is the 335 with the block inlays?
No, that's the one I want though. That's
I wanted that too.
Me too. But you can't.
It's too expensive.
They're hard to get that. It's hard to get that.
Yeah.
Do you know Marty from Marty Music? He does.
No.
He does the fellow on YouTube. He always wears this hat. He's a little bit chunky like me, and he does a lot of reviews. He's been on forever.
Yeah. I think I saw a couple of videos.
So Gibson has made him like a signature model for him.
Wow.
Yeah, and his has the inlays. So if you want to get the inlays, you could probably get that particular one. But that's. I'm keeping my eye open for one with inlays too, but
no, I've seen a couple of these 335 with inlays in my local shop. They're expensive.
I know. I know.
Expensive.
It doesn't justify that kind of money just for the inlays.
But it's like owning a guitar that you can actually say, okay, I did it. I actually own this guitar.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
when I bought my Les Paul Classic, which I was aiming for a long time. I was looking around for a Les Paul Classic for the longest time.
Yeah.
So someone sold it to me used, right? And hey, it don't matter. It's still a Les Paul, and it's made in the time where it's the best time for Gibson, 1998. Those guitars made during that period was one of the best. As far as I
Yeah.
know. And it's a well-made guitar. It played well. It looks gorgeous. Hey, I'm happy.
That's it.
So I know that I have a Les Paul, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So yeah, I mean, in answer to his question, yeah, you should get an original Fender if you have the resources.
Sure.
You know.
But you know what? One piece of advice though is don't get bamboozled with a lot of the marketing hype, because what I see happening with Fender guitars, and not just Fender, there's other brands as well. The prices are constantly going up, right? Right now, I think the Fender guitars, like they're over $2,000 for like the you
Yep.
know the ones that are not like the entry level ones. That's a lot of money for a guitar. I mean, at the end of the day, you can definitely find yourself a used guitar in the Fender line that is just as good, and you can get it for under $1,000. So I think you have to be very diligent and do your homework and know what you want, and then just be patient. It'll come up. I have no problems buying used gear. Actually, I highly recommend that people buy used whenever they can, because it really makes a big difference in the pocketbook, and there's a lot of deals out there. It's just having the money ready when that item pops up so you can grab it.
Yeah, I guess after all, what we're talking about are just pieces of wood.
Yeah.
Basically, if you come down to it, the rest of the stuff you can change. The tuners you can change, the nuts you can change, the frets you can change, the pickups you can change, the electronics you can change. All are changeable, right? So you're talking about two pieces of wood, the neck and the body.
Exactly.
And if you get a guitar that speaks to you, even if it's used, even if it belongs in 1964, well, that would be a good one.
Yeah.
You probably could keep that. And just buy it, and just kind of revamp the whole thing. And wow, you get original parts if you want to, if you're a stickler for that.
Exactly.
And yeah, working guitar, and why not?
And you
got the relic it.
That's all you got to do. You got to just just find what you need, and at the end of the day, just make sure you can optimize the parts that are underperforming. But at the end of the day, it's going to cost you a lot less than having to just hope that you can save up your money to buy that special guitar. I've walked into guitar shops recently very often, and I'm like, I'll try the expensive guitars because it's brand new, and I wanna see what it's all about. And then at the end of the day, I'm not impressed. I'll play it, and it's like, meh. It's like I'm okay with the ones that I have, so I just walk out. Which is good.
Yeah.
Saves me money.
And the other thing that might interest some of you guys out there is Fender Japan.
Yeah, those are great.
Fender Japan makes exquisite guitars.
They do.
Okay, there's one thing about Japanese, right? They're a stickler for like details.
Yep.
And most of Japan-made Fenders that I've seen in my lifetime are all immaculately made.
Absolutely.
And they sound so good. Given the choice between a Fender Mexico, for example, or even a Fender American-made, US-made, some of the models I rather go for the Fender Japan. Seriously,
Yeah.
because they are finished really nicely, just nice, So something to think about.
There's the one of my favorite guitars is actually a Japanese Fender, great guitar, and I've never sold it. I had that guitar for years and years.
Good.
And
Good.
it's great. I love it. So it's
Yeah. There's a market out there, actually. There's a market out there that people are looking for Fender Japan guitars.
Yeah.
And that's how good they are. If they're not as good as what it is, then there won't be a market like people sourcing out for Japan-made Fender guitars.
There's I actually bought that guitar before it actually became a huge thing. It was just starting, where people were looking for the Japanese guitars, but now it's like they're very expensive, because at the end of the day, it's everybody's on that kick.
The
now.
shops are telling me the same thing that is happening to Martin guitars, for example. Martin guitars have increased their price, and he was he was just talking about it. I'm going at this time, at this season where
Everything's rough.
all hell breaks loose. people are like losing jobs and everything, and you're raising up your price. Come on,
Exactly.
you know, what are you guys thinking of?
Yeah, exactly.
So sometimes, corporations, companies, they lost their first love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian, so we talk about our first love as Jesus, right? So if some of us are like backsliding, we lost our first love.
True.
Some of these companies actually lost their first love.
It's true.
I'm sure Gibson started well, Fender started well, but they lost their first love, and greed came into the picture, and there's this.
Well, I mean, I understand if it's just the cost of doing business and having the material and the labor becomes more expensive. I get it. Like nobody works for free, and we don't expect to. American labor is not cheap, and so you have to pay for it. But at a certain point, you're looking at the guitar and you're saying, okay, if they're able to make a Mexican version or a Squire, which is basically the same process, same amount of frets, same type of wood, everything. If they're able to do that, and make it for $800, then why am I paying $2,200 or $2,500? At the end of the day, there's a little difference here and there, but it's not $1,000 difference. So a lot of it is just they want to have the tiers to make people feel like, okay, this is now you're a professional. Like if you're playing this, you're a pro. But we all know, I mean, if you practice and you play well, you can sound good on anything,
Any guitar, yeah.
So
and that's the reason why I love GNL, the company GNL. Not only for the fact that they have really cool guys there, but you can tell that they love guitars. They love this whole process of making a good guitar. And because of Leos Fender's influence and George Fullerton's influence into their company, they have managed to kind of carry on with the tradition.
Yes.
And the guitars are not really like overpriced. Seriously, they're not overpriced at the quality that they have.
Absolutely.
And if you want a cheaper version or a more affordable version, go for the Tribute, which are made in Indonesia, and they're fine. They're great
good.
guitars,
They are.
Yeah, but then again, if you do an A/B comparison between the Tribute and the Fullerton Deluxe, you're gonna tell the difference.
Yeah.
The thing is you pay for what you get, right?
Absolutely. There is a difference, but I mean, the question is that difference enough? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
For me, any company that challenges the big brands out there to do better is a good thing. If somebody's challenging Fender to do a little bit better, or PRS or Gibson, that's fine. I don't mind.
And I'm really happy when Harley Benton came along.
Me too. Me too.
Yes.
Yeah.
About time.
For that reason. Yeah. For that reason. Just to make things, like, bring it down a notch and give you good quality guitars. Like the Fusion guitar has the same features as the Sir. Which one we're talking about. So, HH, stainless steel frets, everything sort of very...
Same color of green.
Very similar.
Almost the same color of green.
Right. But one is like $6,000 or even more now. I don't know if the price went up. And the other one is like under like $6,000, whatever it is. So it's like, come on. Yeah. Let's bring it into perspective, That's
well, in answer to what he was asking about, should you get an original guitar? Let me just share you something. I have a godson who stays in Malaysia. He's like 21, great player, and he wanted a Sir guitar. He wanted a guitar that looks similar to this guy from Brazil, this Japanese guy, Matsuo something.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he has a pink Sir Strat, right? So he said he wanted to own one of them. I said, "Are you sure? That guitar costs a bomb." And he says, "Yeah, I really want it." I said, "Okay, if that's your choice, then you save up for it." And he just save up for it, right? And he plays it everywhere he goes, and he's making it big because he's now playing. He's like 20, 21, right? He's already doing shows in China and all that. So I'm really proud of him. He's my godson.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, okay, you get the guitar that you wanted. Now go for the dream that you're going after.
That's it.
Right. So
if it helps you get there, then it's not money. It's not money blown. If it encourages you to do it, that's fine. But I mean,
if you can afford it, right?
If you can afford it, I mean, sometimes having one great guitar, it makes you love that guitar even more, and I understand that too, right? So it all depends where you're coming from. It's all perspective. But
now I've been blessed because I have guitars to the left and right of me all through my career. There was never a time when I'm just playing one guitar. I will at least have about 3 guitars, somewhere in the house at any one time. So I was blessed in that area. But then again, I only need one. So there's this one guitar that I'll bring along in all my sessions in the studios. There's the only one guitar that I will use for all my gigs, and that's all.
Okay, so which one is that? Now you got to show it to us.
I'll show it to you. Show and tell.
Yeah.
All right, talk about relic.
Let's have a look.
This true relic.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay, so this is a Fender.
So this is a Japan.
A
Fender Japan Strat.
Okay, what year is this?
This is in 1995. No, 19. Sorry, this is 1985.
85. Okay. And so
Look at that.
So you change the tuners for locking. Or did they come like that?
Yeah, it actually came with a locking. No. It came with a sort of a Kahler kind of locking tuners white roasting.
Yes.
Proprietary from Fender. This is Fender Japan, right? So I actually bought two. I bought a Tally, which has a graphite neck, and I bought this. So it came with that Kahler locking system, with the normal pickups, But I was using it for the longest time. And then I changed it to EMGs. Not this EMGs though. These are the Vinskill set. I had a normal EMG set on, and I used it for countless of sessions, without the locking tuners. I took out a Kahler and everything, just a normal tremolo arm, and I was using it for numerous sessions, during the 90s. Then I kind of retired this guitar and I left it at home. I fixed a GK5, Roland GK5 kind of a transmitter here, so that I can run my GR55 guitar synthesizers. So I was using it to program my pads and stuff like that. I left it in the studio for the longest time, and after some time I just kind of neglected it, and it was like decomposing in my, my studio with cobwebs, and it was getting really ugly, right? So I decided to put it under my bed, like hiding a corpse under my bed for the longest time. And I didn't even thought about it until one day I go like, hey, I actually had a Fender Strat under my bed. So I dug it up with the help of my wife, and I saw it. It was in bad condition. There was cobweb all over. The strings was rusty. The bridge was gone. So I decided to take it to the shop and kind of do a remake of it, and change the frets, change the locking tuners, change the pickups. It wasn't originally this pickup. It was some other pickups, which I didn't work. Changed to a Wilkinson bridge.
So
these are good.
So you just taught me something, because I didn't know that the Kahler bridges were able to fit like repro bridges on. I thought once you had a Kahler, you're stuck with the Kahler, but you actually managed to take it out.
You can just take it out. Yeah, you can take it out. This is like you can. The Kahlers are okay. It's the Floyd.
Yeah, no, I understand, but
not the Floyd Rose.
Yeah,
those are not. Those are hard.
Those are hard. But the thing is, the Kahler systems, the bridge for the Kahler, they're big, right? They're big bridges. So you didn't have to do anything in terms of it was just a drop-in replacement.
Yeah, just drop in. Drop in.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think Wayne did some routing. Routing on the site.
Okay.
But that's about it. And then later on, I changed it to a Vinskill set, the EMGs. And I love this Vinskill pickups because it has a SPC control right here. Where you can actually dial in 10 dB or something like 10 or 8 dB gain.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's not just the gain. It kind of fattens the tone a little bit. So with it dialed down, it's just a Fender sounding pickups, right? EMG, so even though it's noiseless, it's just Fender sounding. But if you want to get a little bit fatter, you just dial it up, increment. It's up to you to how much you want it. And I think this system works so well.
Now this bridge is that's the Goto bridge, right?
That's a Goto. It's not a Wilkinson. It's a Goto.
I wanted to get one of that. I wanted to get that bridge for one of my builds as well. I like that bridge.
It's a great bridge. But you know what? You should check out the Vega Tram.
I know. I saw it. It's just very expensive. It's like $300-400 bucks.
Yeah, that's right. I actually had a communication with the CEO, and while Spain's situation is still not stable, so once it's stable, I'm probably gonna have a set sent over and do the installation myself. That's the selling point of the Vega Tram, that you don't need a luthier to set up for you. You can actually do it yourself.
Yeah, no, I was looking at that too, because I have a body of a guitar similar to what you have in your hands, Strat body that I have for like a build that I want to do a part, like a parts caster, and I'm slowly trying to think of what I want to put on it. So the Goto bridge was one of the ones I was looking at because it's affordable and it's good. So somebody was asking if that neck is a ebony or just dark rosewood.
This, the fretboard. The fretboard is rosewood. It's rosewood.
Dark rosewood, yeah.
Yeah, it's dark rosewood, and the fretboard actually comes in with this is a maple neck. It comes in with a finish, right? With a poly finish, I think, and I kind of sand it down, so it's like bare right now.
Yep.
Satin.
That's
satin
even better. I like that. I like that more.
Yeah, I love this guitar. The reason why I don't tour this guitar anymore because I don't want it to be damaged or anything like that. So now I bring up my Comanche.
Okay.
Yeah, thought do a shift of duty, tour of duty thing.
What's cool about that guitar also is it has the micro tilt on it on the heel of the neck, so that's nice to have.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great sounding guitar. I was so impressed with it because it sounded like a Strat. And with all these noiseless pickups that you put in the EMGs, I can cover a whole lot of genres with the SPC control. I can cover from country to rock ballads to rock out stuff, anything.
I haven't had a lot of success with noiseless pickups. I haven't tried the AMG specifically, but I have tried like the DiMarzio Area 54s and those type of pickups. They really do eliminate the hum, which is great.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But with those specific pickups, I found it just wasn't as bitey as I like. I was missing a little bit of the bite, and I like that in a Strat. I like Strats that when you dig in, you have a little bit more bite, and so it didn't really work for me. Yeah.
Got the Vinskill.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to try them.
They have a couple of sets, right? They have the Steve Lukather, they have the David Gilmour, and then they have the Vinskill set. I had the Steve Lukather and the Vinskill. I didn't opt for the David Gilmour because I thought it was a bit too bland.
Okay.
The Steve Lukather is really nice. It's a single double.
Yeah.
And that's the same pickup set that I have on my Luke